Guess who else was tracking the summit in Brazil? Donald Trump, the US president. He is a well-known critic of BRICS. Yesterday, he fired more warning shots. Trump threatened BRICS with extra tariffs. It's on your screen. This is what it says. Any country aligning with the anti-American policies of BRICS will face an additional 10% tariff. That's what Trump said. And he added that there will be no exceptions. It's the same old pattern, really. Whenever the BRICS comes together, Donald Trump threatens them with more tariffs. But this time, the BRICS is pushing back. They discussed Donald Trump's trade war at the summit. They did not name the US or Trump, but the BRICS spoke in one voice against the tariff assault. They called it a threat to trade. And the expanded BRICS has endorsed that statement. Let's first tell you about the expanded group. It includes the founding members, of course. That's Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. The name BRICS, in fact, is an acronym made up of the names of these countries: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, BRICS. Plus, it has 5 new members: Indonesia, Egypt, Ethiopia, the UAE, and Iran. So 10 countries in total. They account for over half of the world's population. They make up more than 40% of the world's economic output. Together, they criticize Donald Trump's tariffs. In fact, countries like China used stronger language. Listen to what they said.
I've just shared our view on the BRICS mechanism. We believe that BRICS is a positive force in the international community. Its cooperation is open and inclusive, and not targeted at any particular country. As for tariffs, we have consistently opposed tariff wars and trade wars. We are against using tariffs as a tool for coercion and pressure. Arbitrarily imposing tariffs does not serve the interests of any party.
BRICS is not targeted against any particular country. The group has said this repeatedly in the past. But the US president still feels threatened by this bloc. He believes that the BRICS can challenge the dollar and, by extension, challenge America's leadership. It can erode American influence on the global economy. That is Trump's fear, especially the trend of de-dollarisation. It makes him uncomfortable. What is de-dollarisation? Limiting the use of the US dollar in global trade. And how do you do it? By relying on other currencies, by carrying out bilateral trade without the US dollar. BRICS countries are in a position to do that. And Trump is determined to stop that. In fact, let me quote from what he said in the past. This is Donald Trump, and I'm quoting, "I hate when countries go off the dollar. I would not allow countries to go off the dollar because when we lose that standard, that will be like losing a revolutionary war." This should explain Donald Trump's repeated threats to BRICS. But the question is, are these threats even working? And the answer is not really. Because trade within BRICS is rising. From 2021 to 2024, it grew by 40%. Last year, trade within BRICS touched $740 billion. And it's growing thanks to Western sanctions. The West, led by the United States, is trigger happy. They slapped sanctions to put pressure on adversaries. These sanctions have fractured the world economy, and they have forced BRICS to resort to more bilateral trade. Let me give you some examples, starting with Russia. Russia's economy is under sanctions, thousands of sanctions, more than 20,000 Western sanctions on one country. It won't stop trading, of course. It will build alternatives. And here's what Russia did. It adopted the Chinese currency, the yuan. So by July 2024, 53% of Russia's foreign transactions were in the yuan. 3 years ago, this figure was at 40%. Last year, it was 53%. So sanctions pushed Russia to de-dollarize. Our second example is India. India is buying more Russian oil than ever before. Last month, Russian crude made up 43% of India's oil imports. That's more than Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE combined. That's how much oil we buy from Russia, despite Western sanctions. Then we have Brazil and South Africa. They're buying Chinese cars in large numbers. Brands like BYD and SAIC are ruling these markets. In Brazil, BYD took over the Ford factory. Ford, of course, is the American company. In South Africa, at least 27 Chinese car models are now selling in showrooms. Now, these may all sound like very different examples, but they all fit a larger pattern. Russia is turning to the yuan, the Chinese currency. India is buying more Russian oil, and Brazil and South Africa are opening up to Chinese products. What does this tell you? BRICS countries are building alternatives to American trade and the American currency. And that is what has rattled Donald Trump. De-dollarization is still a long shot. The US dollar is still the de facto global currency, and ideas like a BRICS currency may not really take off because politically, BRICS as a group has clear limitations. But its strength lies in bilateral deals, the flexible one-on-one agreements. This approach makes BRICS agile. They can respond quickly and effectively. That's what Russia has highlighted as well.
We have indeed seen such statements by President Trump, but it is very important to note here that the uniqueness of a group like BRICS is that it is a group of countries that share common approaches and a common worldview on how to cooperate based on their own interest. And this cooperation within BRICS has never been and will never be directed against any third countries.
So Trump might want to contain the BRICS, but his threats are proving to be counterproductive. They're not deterring BRICS, they're galvanizing it.
Firstpost now available in 9 languages on YouTube. English,
Stands at $36 trillion.
French,
Le FMI, comme
German,
Geschäftsführenden Direktor,
Hindi,
$30 trillion ka-charge mo.
Indonesian,
Pemerintah tanpa pemeriksaan.
Italian,
Skali radikali.
Japanese,
$1 trilhão idioma.
Portuguese,
Por causa do próprio balanço patrimonial.
Spanish.
Beautiful bill.
Go to Settings, click on Audio Track and select the language of your choice. Be the first to know what's happening around you in your first language. Firstpost.